GMS Kingdom, man.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Stay lit. All right, here we go. All right, we should be live. Yeah, we good.
Yep. You got it, bro.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to start off by giving all praises to
Yeah.
the Heavenly Father,
You got it,
Yahuwah,
bro.
Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahahakwadash. Double honors as always to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutations to the elect, starting with the Tabernacle of David, the 144, with the 12 being the head of that. All right. Under them, you have the large multitude, which are the rest of the men, women, and children whom the Lord will have mercy on. All right. And that's the remnant, the body, all right, whom will receive what is known as the first dominion. And we're going to get into some scriptures today. You know, me and the brother broke bread over this particular topic, over times past. And now we finally come together and to deal with the term judging the 12 tribes of Israel in Matthew, the 19th chapter, to bring some clarification and edification for the hopeful elect. All right. For those who have ears to hear and eyes to see and who are willing to dance to the new song that is being sung by, all right, the men of the Lord in these latter days. So I'm going to let the brother open it up and hopefully we can get some edification out of this.
Con. Shalom to you, Akim. Akwatium. Like I say, this is a topic, that I like delving into. Dealing with the practicality, of the kingdom. And what will be going on. Because I think that's probably, the most question, thing is, what will we be doing? Because as a believer, all right, you'll want to know, what's going to be going on in the kingdom to come, and like I always say, when you think about the kingdom to come, the reference points that we have, within the scriptures is during the time of David, during the time of Solomon,
Right.
So when you reference back to those times and see what was going on, all right, well, that's going to come back, except in a much, more glorious form, and it will be eternal. We will be under, the new covenant, you
Mm-hmm.
see, but we will be, like Elder Yashwamba always says, we will be a very, highly efficient functioning business in the earth, and family and order is a major part, of business, when it comes to running a kingdom. Now, this question, comes from the scripture in Matthew 19 and 27, in which what's happening is the apostles, was Peter, he was always like the spokesman, for the apostle asking how shall particular things. And this is what he asked him. And he's saying, this is so let's get it, Matthew 19:27. It says, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? All right. And we as we, have forsaken, our lives and our interests, our ambitions of this world, all right, and put that energy into the kingdom to come, we're in the same stead, as our forefather, these disciples, which later became apostles. Um, you had something to say, bro?
Nah, I mean, Peter, because remember that these apostles, they left everything behind, man. And Peter is asking Yahweh Shai, like, look, what do we get? So Yahweh Shai, pretty much opens to him what they're going to get. All right. So what we're going to do is go into, how we're going to function in the kingdom of heaven. A lot of people, even the believers, they a lot of ask, well, the 144 are going to have this and that. Well, what are we going to have? Well, all Israel is going to be good. All right. If you're, a part of that first dominion, you're blessed, whether you're of the 144 or of the, the large multitude, you're going to have, you're going to be good. All right. So you can keep reading that, brother.
Come, verse 28. And Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Hmm, there you
So
go.
I want to get that word judging. All right. in the Greek. So he's talking about, Yahweh Shai is speaking of his second coming and his return, when everyone will be in their lot, to receive, their reward. That's why all the prophets are back now. All right, all the believers, even the women that follow Yahweh Shai when he was here, they're back. That's why they're so drawn to this word, and hang around this word, because they had to be those same, women from of old, all our righteous, forefathers. Everyone is back in their lot because now, all right, it's time to come into the eternal glory, man. All right, the prophets, all right, are going to be transitioning to kings, man.
That's right.
So let's get that word judging, which is krino. All right, the Greek word is krino. See how you pronounce it.
Strong's G 2919. Krino.
Krino. All right. Now, like I said, we're going to deal with two aspects of judging, because there's going to be two phases, of judging, when you go into, all right, dealing with Israel. Now,
let me say this.
You got it, bro.
Too,
you got it, bro.
Because when you read about the new covenant, it tells you, we're not going to have to teach any man his neighbor. So a lot of people, I remember getting a lot of questions in times past. So what does it mean we're going to judge the 12 tribes of Israel? Well, there's going to be, as we're going to get into right now, it's a twofold process. Because for one, we're going to purge out. After we come down from the chariots, there's still going to be Israelites, all right, on the earth, as well as the heathen that we got to put down. But some of those Israelites, a lot of them are going to be purged out. You see, some of them may receive mercy, but ultimately after that, the 12, all right, the 144 are going to be the heads of setting everything in order. And we're going to get into that. You got it, brother.
Come. The brother El Manatazak said to check the volume. See if you
on my mic.
Yep. See if you can
Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm testing out this new situation. But go ahead, and I'll work on that.
Okay, come. Just probably just stay close. Like I say, it sounded a lot louder when you were close on.
Okay.
All right. So let's go back into that word krinos, and just kind of establish, because a lot of these words, you got to apply, to certain situations. All right. So when you go to that word krinos, it says, all right, it says to determine, all right, to resolve, to decree. You see, and that's what's going to be done in the kingdom, amongst, establishing order amongst these heathens. All right, there will be particular men, all right, set up over other Israelites to determine particular matters, because you got to understand the kingdom is not going to be, just a bunch of random, we're not just going to be a bunch of random people, drinking and dealing with women. All right, there has to be decisions made in the earth to restore the earth back to righteousness, and also to maintain, all right, righteousness in the earth. All right, so you're going to have particular men that's over other men, all right, within the kingdom to determine, all right, to resolve, different scenarios and set forth decrees, within different parts of the earth, but it's all going to be under the umbrella of the government, of Yahweh Shai. You got it, bro. You had something?
No, I was asking brothers and sisters if this is better, testing, 1, 2, looking at us.
Yeah, y'all brothers, sister, let us know how the other sound. The mic.
Yeah, brother says a little better, so we'll just go with that. I'll just talk a little louder.
Okay, come. Yeah, you gotta get your El Kazak on,
man.
All right, so going back, into to their word krino, dealing with some of the definitions. Now, all right, it says to pronounce an opinion concerning right and wrong, you know, like dealing with Solomon. You remember how he did the baby, you know, those two harlots. You
Right.
see,
Right.
and it says to rule, to govern, all right, to preside over with the power of giving judicial decisions, because it was the prerogative, all right, the uh, pre prerogative, yeah, prerogative, you know, of kings and rulers to pass judgment. All right. It says to contend of warriors and combats. Now, all right, I think that's the main ones. All right. But dealing,
Right.
you know, really with the decision making, it's gonna come from the top. Like you gotta look at Esau, Edom's kingdom, all right, his media and the things that they pronounce, you know, the mandate of mass, you know, yeah, it's your local governor that's telling you to do these things, but see, the decisions is coming from the top, from these elites, you know, and they make their way down, you know, to the decrees, you know, within, you know, local government, you see.
Mhm.
But when Yahweh Shai, all right, established his throne, so let's get that parable in Luke, you know, and set up for that first phase, you know, of judgment. When you go to Luke 19,
Yep. I got that pulled up. But go ahead.
come Luke 19, and I started at 10. I started I started at 12, you know. This is Luke 19 and 12. It says, and he said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And the nobleman is Yahweh Shai. All right. And after he accomplished, you know, being that sacrifice, being resurrected, you know, setting up the church, you know, he was taken back to the Father and he was given everything. You know, it just has to manifest in the earth. So Yahweh Shai, he went back to the spirit world to receive that authority, all right, to be able to establish his kingdom in the earth at his return. Now, we you know, this goes into, all right, the talent of the the parable of the talents. Now, this is why, you know, brothers push so hard about magnifying your office, because this will play a part, you know, in your in the status, all right, that we have in the world to come. You see, because you gotta understand, you know, as a businessman, if you're a business owner, you know, and you got, you know, 82 branches, you know, 82 different, you know, branches of your business, well, you're all right going to entrust, you know, more to those branches that are proven to put out more, you know.
Mhm.
So when your business is upgraded, you know, to now you got 8,000 branches, well, those men that was really holding it down when it was just 82 branches, all right, they're going to get more of a portion, you know, of your bigger of the bigger business when your business expands. And like you always say, Elias woman, Yahweh Shai will have the whole earth, you know. So what we're doing on these channels, each and every brother that has a channel, what we doing on these channels will, all right, play a part, you know, in what we have in the kingdom to come, man. That's why scriptures say what? Store your treasures in heaven, you know. It says, verse 13, it says, and he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. All right. But his citizens hated him, all right, and these are Israelites, and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. And this is gonna be the main part we're gonna deal with, we're gonna jump to. But we're just gonna get an example, you know, of the of dealing, you know, with those talents, you know.
Right.
And it
Can
came
I get a
to
quick
pay.
precept?
Oh, you got it, bro. So like,
Could you pull up Matthew 5 and 19 real quick?
yep, 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 no problem, bro.
Just want to make a
Yep,
quick point.
come.
Um, I'll read it, Matthew, and then I want you to look up that word least. But this is Matthew 5 and 19. It says, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, all right, meaning they took the Father's business and forwarded, you flip your talent because each individual who has this truth, remember, this is your business, you see, and how you issue forth and how you deal with it. All right. Some brought forth 100-fold, some brought forth 20-fold, some, but you're supposed to flip it. All right. That's why we receive this truth. But you have people who've taken this Bible into their hands, like Christians, only to teach, you know what I'm saying, Israel to break the laws, like T.D. Jakes. These black pastors, so-called black, Hispanic, Native American pastors, they take the Bible in their hands, and what do they use it to do? Teach our people to become bigger sinners. Well, they're not going to hell, but when they come back, they're going to be least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, because right there it would tell you they were going to hell. You would think someone who ultimately is teaching our people to teach, to break the commandments, they're going to hell, right? Well, no, it's saying they're going to be least in the kingdom of heaven, but the same that shall do and teach them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So look up that word least real quick, and then we'll read it.
Come. All right, just that word least, all right, in the Greek. All right.
Strong's G 1646. Elachistas. Elachistas.
All right. So when you go into the definitions, it says smallest, least in size, in amount of management of affairs.
Right. See that? An amount of management of affairs. So the 12, the 144, the 12 at the head of that, which will show you that in Revelation, the 20th chapter or the 21st chapter as well. They'll have the most responsibility directly under Yahushua, you see, in issuing out, judgments, setting up shop, putting things in order, So even they'll have, first dibs. They'll have first dibs and actually, judging, getting the purging out the rebels. You see? Keep reading.
Mm-hmm. It says in importance, what is the least moment in authority of commandments in the estimation of men, of persons, in rank and excellence of persons.
Right. In rank. See, it's going to be a rank in our kingdom. Now, all Israel will eventually be born and blessed into the covenant. All right. But it starts with that remnant. All right. And that remnant under Yahushua is the 144,000 and then that large multitude. Now we can go to that word great, just to kind of get that as well.
Okay, come. All right. So go into that word great.
And that cuts the notion of hell. A lot of our people think that, the Jakes that are doing wicked. Now, when you go back to the kings of Israel, the kings of Judah, you had particular of them that did, child sacrifice, all sorts of wickedness, man, teaching Israel to bow to different idols. But you notice the one thing about it, when they all died, they all went to rest with their fathers. None of them went to hell. You see? So all of these spirits are going to eventually come back, but some of them are going to be more in rank and given more responsibility as to ushering in the kingdom of heaven, and others, will be delegated. Okay, go ahead.
Just that word great. And this Magas, probably where you get mega from.
Megas, yep.
Yep, the mega churches,
I'll read it. It says great. It says great of external form or sensible appearance of things. Hey, it says the house of David shall be as God. You see, it says in particular of space in its dimensions and respects, mass, weight, stature. When you go down, number, large, and when you go down to 2, just to get to the point, it says predicated of rank as of belonging to. So when you read about Yahushua and the 144, it says that they are, I forget the word it uses in Revelation, the 14th chapter, but they're.
Oh, yeah. They, I get it real quick. You will finish with that definition?
Yeah, that's pretty much, God's preeminent blessings, things which overstep the province, it's so y'all get it, y'all get it. Authority, power, virtue. Now you can go to Revelation, the 14th chapter.
All right, this is Revelation 14:4. All All right, 144. It said, "These are they which were not defiled with women,
Mhm.
for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and unto the Lamb."
Mm.
And you get the word first fruits. All right, in the Greek, because these 144,000, all right, were the first spirits, created by Yahweh Shai. Why you think he took such a liking, to John, man? They probably, one of the first handful of spirits that he made, man. So, all right, yep. It said, I'm gonna go down to the point. Definition 3 said, person superior and excellent to others of the same class.
Mm.
Yep.
So we all Israelites, but there's a rank and order that's going to be established under Yahweh Shai, once the kingdom of heaven is set up. That's why Yahweh Shai said the kingdom of heaven is in you. All right. Speaking to the men who are teaching this word and also those who believe. Okay. But there's an order system. I just wanted to make sure we understood that as well. And all of the 144,000 are men. Okay. Priest. That's the high priesthood after the order of Melchizedek. All right. And after that, you have that large multitude, which you'll be blessed. To make it on that first go round, all of us are going to be blessed. All right. And it's not going to be any hatred. It ain't going to be like, why you get this? You get nah. It's going to be all love. And it's all going to be understood. All right. So I just wanted to hit that before we, delve into that, what you was going into.
Come on. I get another one just to bag you up since we on that topic. This kind of brings everything home, because you gotta think, like I say, this is going to be a functioning, kingdom,
Right.
in the earth, and every Israelite will play a part within that kingdom,
Right.
This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 24. It said, "Then come at the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and authority and power." And this is Yahweh Shai, when he comes back to conquer the earth in righteousness. And he said he's going to deliver up the kingdom, all right, to his Father. All right, because when you look at, all right, those Spanish conquistadors, just to make an example, all right, they went and conquered, the Central South America and the islands, but they did it in the name of whatever king was on the throne. You see, what they came and actually conquered it, but they did it in the name, they would conquer this land, and they would say this land is now property, of King Isabella, King Ferdinand II. You see, but the king and the king never left his throne.
Right.
Well, Yahweh Shai, he's going to do that, and he's going to deliver the earth back to his Father. You
Right.
see?
Start at 22. Start at
Okay,
22.
come. Yep. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 22. "For as in Adam all die, even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive." Man, hey, because you gotta think about it, through Eve, she brought that philosophy to Adam. The ways of death have reigned in the earth since then.
Man.
You see, me and the brothers talking about yesterday, like Yahweh Shai was the first one to overcome death, to overcome the flesh. You see, he set a trend, because see, the trend of death was set in the earth, all right, through Adam, from Eve through Adam, but see, through Yahweh Shai, now it's a trend of life. You see, now we're fighting to get back to that glory, from back in the garden, man.
Right.
Verse 23, it said, "But every man," yep, this the point, "but every man in his own order," all right, Yahweh Shai, the first fruits, 144,000, we just read, Revelation, those first fruit, those superior and excellence, to those in the same class. Afterward, they that are Yahweh Shai, the rest of the 1/3, at his coming.
There you go. That's it.
Yep. So everybody gonna have their order, those first fruits, you see, those first spirits, because you go Proverbs the 8th chapter, you know, Solomon is going heavy in the spirit, which we know that's Yahweh Shai, but he talked about how, daily he was the most high delight,
Like,
and the sons of men were daily his delight. Those first fruits. It's a true intimate relationship with Yahweh Shai and those first fruits, man. That's why he took that torturous death. He wanted to see all those first fruits. He wanted to see all of Israel, but beginning with the first fruits. He wanted to see those men, those spirits return back to their glory, as he was going to return back to his glory, man.
Right. Because those are the Alahayim, the judges.
Yep.
You look up that word Alahayim. See, Yahweh Shai in John 17, what did he ask the Most High? He said, return me to the glory that I had with you from the beginning. See, and that was his heavenly estate. And see, that's what we're really fighting to get back to, so that ultimately we can rule with those heavenly bodies on earth this time, to where sin won't have any dominion over us. But it started with Yahweh Shai, all right, offering himself up as a sacrifice, conquering death. All right. And we're going to conquer death when we get on those chariots, because we're going to have new bodies. But, I just wanted to make sure it was understood that there will be an order in the kingdom of heaven. It ain't going to be no willy-nilly, I'm doing my own thing. Nah, it's going to be a specific order under Malak Tazadak, who is Yahweh Shai, set up the priesthood, okay, to usher in that kingdom. And everybody's going to be happy. You won't want for anything.
Yeah.
Got it.
Come. Revelation 11:18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldst give a reward unto thy servants, the prophets. All right. Going back to those first fruits, those prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldst destroy them which destroy the earth. So, yep, your boy, you see. But you see how it's always dealing with that same rank, all throughout the scripture, dealing with that same rank, the first fruits, the believers, from the least to the greatest. Everybody's going to get their reward, man. Because immortality alone, if he stopped there, that's far exceeds, what we deserve, man.
Right. That's right, brother. So we can get back into what you was going into in Matthew and Luke and all that, or whatever you got.
Yeah, we get that, Luke. Yep. Dealing with those rebels. All right. So going back to Luke 19 and 14, and then just read down. It says, and his citizens hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. All right. And that's going to come back into play. We're going to jump to it. All right. And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, and to whom he had given money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. How's your business doing? Because see, there's another thing with Christians. They think that the blood of Yahweh Shai, gave them the green light, to do what they want to and live YOLO. See, that blood wasn't free. That was an investment.
That's right.
You see, the Yahweh Shai is keeping the Most High from destroying our ass. All right, so we can be profitable unto him. We can show ourselves that we're profitable. All right, for the kingdom to come.
Right.
You see, the grace wasn't for us to, wild out, get pink hair, blue hair. No, man. Willow and Jada Smith. That ain't what grace was for, man.
Right. Right.
It says, then came the first saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thy authority over 10 cities. You see, Yahweh Shai is coming back to conquer the earth, and then he's going to set up, all right, his officers, all right, his kings. Why he's the king of kings? Because he's going to set up kings all throughout the earth, according, to your ability, man, and according to our faithfulness, with this little that we have now, such as a YouTube channel. Go ahead.
That's right, brother.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump down. All right, just to prove their point that what we're doing is going to translate into the kingdom of come. You know, this is Luke 19 and 27. It said, "But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me." You see, you got it, bro.
And ultimately under Yahushai, those first fruits are gonna have first dibs on actually cleaning up the nation of Israel. All right, because when we come off those chariots, as a matter of fact, let's get Revelation 20 real quick.
Okay, come. All right.
Revelation 20, and then we're gonna get a little bit of Revelation 21. These quick points. Now you start at 24, I'll read it. It says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them." This is that promise that was told to Peter, who was the head of the church. This is that promise being fulfilled. And John, the revelator, is seeing it. All right. This is different from that 1,000-year period that we read in 1, 2, and 3. But at verse 4, this is speaking of the kingdom of heaven. And Apostle Ramlab just went into this. It said, "And I saw the thrones." Didn't he say you're going to sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel? "And they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai," meaning they were doing the work. They didn't bow to the image of Baal, right? They were the standard. They were the leaders, okay? "And the word, and for the word of God, in which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads and in their hands," showing you that those apostles, all right, some of them are here, and they're going to be at the forefront of teaching Israel not to bow to the image of the beast, not to take the chip, not to, bow to the ways of this world. You see, "Nor had received his mark in upon their foreheads, on their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years." So this 1,000-year period is the first dominion. As a matter of fact, I'll get it. Micah, the 4th chapter.
Mike, yeah, I get it.
Micah, the 4th chapter.
I'm gonna start at 1 or
We start. I'll read 1 and 2, and then I'll jump down.
okay,
Get it real quick. It says, "But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain." Now, what is a mountain? A government. Go to the summit. What is a summit? When Esau has his summit meetings, a summit is ultimately at the top of a mountain. So the mountain that's going to be established is the mountain of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, which is the throne of David. See, that's why Christians don't want to deal with these scriptures. All right. So in the last days, the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established on top of all the mountains, and it shall be established above all of the hills, and people shall flow into it. And many nations shall come and say, "Let us go up to the mountain of the Lord of the house, into the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways." These are the heathen, because we're not going to have to teach any Israelite. "And we will walk in his paths, for the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem." Now, when you jump down, verse 8, just to hit the point, it says, "And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion." See that? The first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem, all right, which is that bride, okay, that spotless bride who's going to be beautified by being beamed up into those chariots, man. So when you go back to Revelation 20, these 1,000-year periods are the ushering in of the kingdom of heaven. Because as we always say, the Lord ain't going to snap his fingers and everything turn back clean. No, he's going to allow Yahushai and those men to implement those laws to show you that this is the way to go. And the heathen are going to see it. The heathen are going to be like, wow. When the process starts to be ushered in, the laws ushered in, the earth is going to beautify. So we're going to, in this 1,000-year period, we're going to start by putting off these rebels, as we'll show you. And then we're going to get to subduing these heathen, man. So it's not like the 1,000-year period is it, but it's that foundation. You got to think, as we always say, from the beginning, Yahushai and the Elohim created everything. And what did it take? 7 days. It took 7,000 years to complete creation. 1,000 years of creating smells and elements and plants. So these were 1,000-year periods to create what we see in the earth, in the form of the earth. Well, it's going to take 1,000 years to get that earth back to the point of what was the garden called? Paradise.
Paradise. Yep. Yep.
It's going to
That
take
Eden.
1,000 years. This is the Lord and his men, all right, setting up order on the earth for 1,000 years. That's going to be the foundation of the kingdom of heaven being established in the earth. And see, you brothers don't understand. You could be with Yahushua doing this in the earth. You see? And you sisters don't understand. You're going to be witnessing this. The leadership establishing order in the earth. All right. Now, let's jump to Revelation 21 real quick. Make these few points. Because we know we're going to get beamed up. But we're not going to stay up there forever. Now, we talk about this a lot. No one knows. But how long are we going to be up there? From the destruction of a Babylon the Great, these heathen wiggling around in the bunkers, the rest of the world that's not destroyed, people all in disarray. And, we're going to be up on a chariot partying, getting crowned by Yahushua, all right, getting our purpose, our lot, everything. Who knows how long that's going to take? But eventually we're going to come down to establish the kingdom because the kingdom is going to be on earth. So Revelation 21:3, it says, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, oh, no, hold on. Let me start at, I start at 2. It says, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem. This is the elect coming down from God out of heaven. See, we're going to eventually come down from those chariots. We ain't going to stay up there forever. We got to come establish order on the earth under Yahushua. You see, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. We're going to be perfect, no sin, spotless. You see? Now, it says, and I heard a voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. Now, what was the purpose of the tabernacle on the earth? It was the direct presence of the Heavenly Father. That's why Moses built the tabernacle. Solomon built the temple to forward what? The throne of David. But now it's going to be us. The men are going to be the temple where that judgment and everything is issued forth out of Jerusalem. You see? You want to say something before I keep going?
No, I'm just listening, bro.
Okay. And it says, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. So how is that? Through the law, statutes, and commandments being put in our inward part. Death will no longer have any reign or dominion over us. So there's no way to lose. We'll go come down from those chariots and establish order, the throne of David, the tabernacle of David. Now, as you read down, it talks about, let me jump to verse, just to hit the point, verse 10, New Jerusalem. All right, it says, and he carried me away in the spirit, because we're coming down. We're going to come down. But this is the order of how we're going to be. It says, and he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain and showed me that great city, which we know the city is speaking of the people. Isaiah 52, oh, Jerusalem, that great city, put on your garments, your beautiful garments. Can a city put on a garment? No. It's speaking of the elect putting on this truth. The holy Jerusalem descending out of heaven from God. Okay. Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto the most stones, most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. All right. Now, when you read, it says, and it had a great wall, high and great, and had 12 gates, and at the 12 gates, the names written thereof of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. Then when you jump to verse 14, so this is the leadership. What was at the gates? The elders. You're right. It says, and the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. So they're going to be at the forefront of it. And who's the head disciple? Peter, David, right? And as you keep reading down, you got the 12 apostles, but when you keep reading down, just to hit the point, verse 17, it says, and he measured the wall thereof 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is of the angel. So this is the leadership. of course, Yahweh Shai, all right, and then you have the 144 with the 12 being at the head of that. So this is how we're going to come down from earth, and this is going to be the order established. So then we can go back to that Matthew you had, and we can roll from there.
Come.
Read that again. Slay before me.
Okay, come. And Luke, yep.
Yep.
Man. And you, hold on, true. And this, this is good. I just want to add, this is good. That the Spirit has this coming out. Because as we, are getting ready to suffer before this glory that we're speaking about,
right.
This is what we have to have in mind to overcome, whatever we got to go through, man.
That's
Hey, while you in that cell, you in the dungeon, you on the wilderness, whatever. This has to be in your mind, the end game. Yahweh Shai seen this. That's why I say the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross and despised the shame. So this is what's going to make us not, like you always say, Zaquan, not give a damn about the opinions of these people, man. Because we can see this happening, man.
Right. Now this brother asks, what happens after 1,000 years? After the 1,000 years, Esau is going to be destroyed, and the heathen will be able to pretty much because they're going to build the kingdom, and we'll get all of that. But pretty much the heathen are going to be able to go their way. We're going to put them in their particular regions with rulers, all right, watching over them. All right. We'll get all of that in a minute. Go ahead.
Yep. This is back in Luke 19:27 said, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
That's it. Yeah.
Because you gotta, whenever you setting up an empire, you gotta put down all opposition.
Right.
And there's gonna be a lot of Israelites that still, had this mind frame, all right, of a Jake ruling over them, man. Ironic it's gonna be, like damn, but we seen Israel, see power and glory and still, worship idols, so this is nothing that's never been done. But see, just like during the time of Moses, all right, the whole generation of Israelites had to be, removed, before, we came into our sovereignty, man. So
that's right.
There's nothing new, just an upgraded, way, dealing with. But what's that in Ezekiel?
Ezekiel 20, and we can start at 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Because not every Israelite is going to be beamed up. All right. Now we know in America, the 2/3 are going to absolutely be obliterated. But we know that scattered throughout the earth, there's still going to be some Jakes, and some of you scoffers. The Lord's going to have to make a situation where you leave America and survive somehow, and then we gonna come down and meet your ass face to face. Nobody gets away. Now, a lot of the 2/3 is going to be here in the land of Babylon, the great destruction. But then after that, we're going to go through the earth pretty much under Yahweh Shai. Hey, and some of them we may have mercy on, but a lot of them we're going to put their asses to death, man. And the apostles always speak of North America, not North America, South America, as being one of the main hubs. Because what's Jake doing over there? Because that's not going to be destroyed. Only Babylon's going to be destroyed. Jake bound the idols. So when we come down, Jake ain't going to want to get with the program. Off with your head, man. And this is coming straight from the scriptures. Now, where you at? You there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'll read it for you. You can break it down. All right, this is Ezekiel 20:33. It says, as I live, said the Lord power, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And says, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
Right. Now, he said he's going to plead with you face to face. Now, what happened when Moses came down from the mount with the spirit on him and saw Jake worshiping that golden calf, what did he tell those Levites to do? Pretty much get your sword, and who's ever down with the Lord, be down with the Lord. Who's ever going to bow to this idol, you bow to, and what happened? They put to death, I believe, about, if somebody can post it on the comment board, and we'll just put it up on the screen, but they put to death about, I believe, 24,000 Israelites. Even at the time in the wilderness, when you had Jake bowing to Baal Peor, Eleazar and the high priest, they all got together, Moses, and put to death like 24,000 at that time. So that process happened in the wilderness, actually, but when we come down from those chariots, the earth is going to be like a wilderness. It's going to be, all messed up. Now, some people believe that South America is going to be the main hub of that, which it could be, but the whole world ultimately is going to be filled with people. People are still going to be here. How the hell you think we're going to have slaves? So we're going to meet face to face. They're going to be meet face to face with the servants of the Lord with the spirit on them. And you're going to be pled. He said, I'm going to plead with you face to face. Now, is the Most High himself going to be there? No. Like he said, I dealt with Moses face to face. What does that mean? He put the spirit on him. He opened them up, to understand. That's how we get the first 5 books. And you remember when Moses came down from that chariot, from the mount, from getting all of that history and understanding, his face was shining. Israel's like, damn. So how much more when we get the full glory and come off of those chariots? We're going to meet face to face with Israel, man. And we're going to purge out the rebels. Keep going.
Bob Kashak, I get the word plead.
Yep.
Okay, and the word plead, all right, it's your pot, which goes into judging, that's why you get, Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, it's the same word, So when you get to it, the word Shaphat, and it says to judge, to govern, to vindicate, to punish, all right? It says to execute judgment, condemning and punishing, all right? To act as a lawgiver or judge or governor of the Most High, all right?
Right.
And it says
Now,
you got it, bro.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just saying, yep, it says at theophanatic event for final judgment,
That's right. Now, can you real quick pull up Matthew 16 and 18?
Come.
Because Yahweh Shai told Peter this, all right, which Peter is the head of the church. He's the head disciple. He's the head apostle, right? That's the rock on which the church was built. And what was given unto him? A key. Now I'll read it, Matthew 16 and 18. And I say unto thee, thou art Peter, and upon this rock will I build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt bind in earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Meaning judgment is going to be given into the hands of the house of David, the keys. We're going to have dominion directly under Yahushua over judgment. Who's ever sins, you loose, you loose. Who's ever sins or bound, you bound. That judgment is literally going to be given into the hands of the elect, the house of David under Yahushua. Now that word for keys, hold up.
Yeah,
Meaning you can let people in or keep them out.
I got it pulled up. I can get it for you, bro.
Okay.
It's that word keys in Greek.
Strong's G 2807. Kleis.
All right. Definition 8, it says, since the keeper of the keys has the power to open and to shut, metaphorically in the New Testament, to denote power and authority of various kinds.
Woo! So we, let's see here. Oh man, go to the root word up there.
Okay, the root. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And we're literally going to have this power. It says to shut up, metaphorically to cause the heavens to withhold rain. Remember, Elijah did that. And that's in the book of Revelation 11. It says
Mm-hmm.
to shut up compassion so that it is like a thing inaccessible to one, to be devoid of pity towards one, to obstruct the entrance into the kingdom of heaven, right? So those keys were given unto Peter, which that denotes ultimately the 144,000, because that's the order of the priesthood after Melchizedek. That's the throne of David. So going back to yeah, man, this is heavy. Going back to Ezekiel, we can hit this real quick.
Con.
Because you got to think there's two sides to this. Yeah, there's going to be rebels purged out, but some we may have compassion on.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that judgment, we're going to have that authority because we're going to be changed now. It's going to be directly under Yahushai. So we're going to get to the compassion part of it as well and setting up order after we because we're going to have an ethnic cleansing. We're going to be the cleanest, most purified nation ever. So we can't go forward with these niggas. There's a degenerate gene that has to be absolutely purged out before we can start and usher in that, full kingdom. Now, where we at?
Oh, we back in Ezekiel.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right, Ezekiel 20 and 35. It says, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, said the Lord power.
Right, and it's crazy. Jake saw all of those miracles, and they still bucked up. They saw the parting of the Red Sea. So Jake is going to see us beamed up, come down. They still going to talk shit. They still going to have a rebellious spirit on them. But some of them might, may not. But let's keep going.
All right. Verse 37, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
Right. And when a sheep passes under a rod, it was basically to see if it was fit, for a sacrifice, if it was fit. So basically, you're going to pass under the rod, and I will bring you. Some of them are going to come. Some of them we're going to have mercy on, but a lot of them, read that next verse.
Come, verse 38, and I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Right, they're going to be cut off. Horrible is the end of that unrighteous generation, as it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. Okay, you can read that last verse, the 39.
Okay, come. As for you, O house of Israel, thus said the Lord power, go ye, serve ye every one his idols, and hereafter also, if you would not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my holy name, no more with your gifts and with your idols.
So we're going to be around the world. You still have Jake, Jesus, eso Christos, off with your head. Bye. And it's not going to be no game. It's going to be serious, man. And this sounds, harsh to a lot of people, but it's necessary because this is the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. But some we're going to have mercy on, man. Now, how that's going to look, how it's going to be, we can't exactly tell you that. We know in part and prophesy in part. But what we're showing you is that there is going to be a process which those rebels, the house of David are going to have direct, under Yahushua, direct pleasure of that very process. He who will not have me to reign over him, bring him hither and slay his ass. You see? And that's something beautiful to look to. You got a scoffer right now somewhere mocking and playing. But the Lord may have it to where he's there and the Lord is going to meet his ass face to face through his servants, man, with new bodies, shining, smelling good, looking good, with spiritual capability. And your ass is going to be grass, man.
You can be out of there.
Out of there.
Yeah,
so you could whatever you wanted to hit next, and then we can get the examples and all of that.
Okay, come. And then just real quick, since you said that, but like you said, man, it's gonna go from, blocking you niggas on the comment board, all right, to blocking you niggas off earth, man.
Right. Now, this brother asks, I meant, is the elect going to remain in this realm forever? Man, the 144 are going to be on a whole nother level. Now, do you see the Rothschild just in everyday affairs in the world? No. Yahweh Shah and 144 are going to be on a, somewhere. Hey, as a matter of fact, when you get Luke 22 real quick,
Come.
and start at 28.
All right.
I mean, the 144 going to be far out, man. Yeah, we probably go, because it's going to be many mansions. We may be somewhere on a whole nother, the access that the 144 is going to have. But yeah, we'll return to the earth sometimes. Like, the governors, they pop up at the church here and there to, hey, get my vote, yada, yada, yada. But the 144 will return to the earth at times, and we're going to have regions in the earth that belong to us, as we're going to show you that Solomon did with his men.
Mm-hmm.
This is Luke 22 and 28. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, that word for tables, real quick.
I get it.
So we're going to be
Shit.
like the bankers as well, man, in righteousness.
Yep.
See? It says, I'm going to just hit the point. Because remember in the temple, Yahweh Shah saw the priest, doing wickedness at the tables. He flipped the tables over because the priests were actually the bankers. They took in, the tithe and everything that was coming in. So it says the table or stand of a money charger, where he sits exchanging different kinds of money for a fee and paying back with interest, loans, or deposits. Now, what does it say in Deuteronomy 28? We're going to lend to the heathen. So the 144, yeah, we'll be on this earth. All right, but we'll be like over some serious affairs, man. Like on a whole nother level, the determining what goes out, what comes in, and all of that. So, yeah, the 144 will be in this realm sometimes, but sometimes we'll be in other realms. All right, you just got to use your imagination. You got it with whatever you was going to go into, Salakia.
Come. What you gonna, touch on that again? Like I said, we're gonna get some examples, but it just reminded me, what you was going into, like how those men will have, authority, on mercy, because even when you go, even before the destruction, all right, which the infamous, Isaiah 4:1, all right, but when you get it, and it says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread, and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. So, all right, the men, those first fruits, man, those men, all right, even before the destruction, are going to have authority, when it comes to favor, man. You see, it's going to be on a smaller level, before we go into those ships and come down. But even then, the Most High is going to be elevating the authority and power of these men in the earth, and that's why, leg man will be coveted heavily after, man, in those times, But
Imagine how happy those women were at the time Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth were on that ark.
Come on.
They were in order on that boat.
All right.
Like, thank you, Lord. Oh my goodness. Well, that's how it's going to be, with the men of the Lord, with your deliverance out of this was to come here.
All right. So now, like I say, a good reference point, when you want to, kind of have some inkling of idea, how the kingdom will function, is to go into those chronicles, 1st, 2nd Kings, 1st, 2nd Chronicles, a good read, will be for all brothers, just to get a synopsis of that time period, would be to start at 1 Samuel, starting with, how Samuel came about, reading all the way to the time, rid of the death of Solomon, Like that time period is a major time period, you know, to have an understanding, you know, of particular things, you know. But when you go to First Chronicles 28:1,
I read it
what's
for you.
that?
I read it for you.
Come on.
Okay. This is First Chronicles chapter 28 and 1. And David assembled all the princes of Israel, the princes of the tribes, and the captains of the companies that ministered to the kings by course, and the captains over the thousands, and the captains over the hundreds, and the stewards over all the substance and possession of the king and of his sons, with the officers and with the mighty men and with all the valiant men unto Jerusalem.
Yo, so the kingdom of David, you know, was well ordered. And that's why Solomon, you know, was able, you know, to be projected so far, you know, because David laid order, you know, he had, you know, rank, you see, he had captains over this, captains over that. Remember, in the talents, he said, look, the man that had 10 talents, you know, I give you 10 cities, you know, so you're going to have captains over, you know, particular Israelites, captains over this province, you know, captains over this realm, captains over this region. You see, it's going to be order. And then it says, and stewards, all right? And then what did Yahushua liken us unto now? We're stewards over the Most High, of Yahushua's household now. You see, we're stewards over the king's household, which is the elect. You see? So jump to First Kings 4:1.
Okay. You go pull it up?
Yep.
Yeah. And zoom in just a little bit too.
Okay. Come. First
Kings.
Kings
See it a little better.
4. What the hell is Zoom?
If not, it's cool. I mean, I can see it. It's just
see, it uses Zoom by itself. Now you can't.
that's all good. It's all good. I read it.
Okay, come. Yep.
All right. It says, so King Solomon was king over all Israel.
Mm-hmm. Just as Yahushua will be, you know, king over all Israel. Go ahead.
And if we can pull up a map of his kingdom and what area it covered, just to show you, like, damn, imagine this with the whole earth. You know, we ain't got to do it now, but let me keep reading. It says, and these were the princes which he had: Azariah, the son of Zadok the priest, which is Zadok anointed Solomon. It says Elihoreph and Ahiah, the sons of Shisha, scribes, Yahawashaphat, the son of Ahilud, the recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up, let me get it here. And Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the host, and Zadok and Abiathar were priests. Interesting. It says, and Azariah, the son of Nathan, was over the officers, and Zabud, the son of Nathan, was the principal officer and the king's friend.
And the king's friends. Hey, what the Yahushua tell the apostles? I call you not servants, but what? Friends. Right. You see, they was close, you know, until Yahushua, man. You know, what you keep reading, bro?
It says, and Ahishar was over the household, and Adoniram, the son of Abda, was over the tribute.
So here.
Here's a good one right here. And Solomon had 12 officers over all Israel, which provided victuals for the king and his household. Each man his month in a year made provision.
So you see the order that was set up. You had a recorder, you know, someone that was writing these things down, because that's how we got the Book of Kings. You know, somebody over that. Like the Bible didn't just, you know, write itself. You had people over the records. All right. You had, you know, order within the priesthood. You had different officers, you know, that was giving Solomon advice and, You know, you had someone over the tribute, you had someone over the provision, you know. But what verse 7 sounds like what, man? Matthew 19 and 28, you know. Them 12 officers, man. That's gonna be, you know, those top kings, man. You know, Yahushua, King David, the rest of the apostles, and then every man after that in this order. So it's gonna be ranked, man. It was always ranked in order amongst, you know, Israel. You know,
Right.
Solomon didn't get to be the richest, you know, with a get rich quick scheme. You know, it was order, you know, and it was efficient the way that his kingdom was ran. You see, and that's going to come back, you know, to the earth, you know, because here it is. You know, Jake always talk about getting together, but everybody want to have an opinion. There ain't no standard, you know, and it's to the point now a nigga can't even organize a family union, you know, but he want to tell us, you know, what we should be doing, you know.
Right. Facts.
So, going from there, all
Real
right,
quick, though, real quick,
you
that
got
word victuals means like to seize, because remember, these heathen are going to be paying tribute. So Solomon had 12 officers, which Yahushua had 12 disciples. How ironic, which were ultimately over what came in for that particular month. You see, now this is Tobit, real quick. Tobit 13 and 11. It says, many nations shall come from far to the name of the Lord God with gifts in their hands. That's those victuals. You see, even gifts to the King of heaven. All generations shall praise thee with great joy. So the
uh-huh.
heathen are going to have to pay tribute. You see, but there's going to be an order to how that tribute is taken in, even in the kingdom of heaven. See, Solomon, as we're reading, is just a prelude of what was to come under Yahushua. You know, I just wanted to bring that out.
Gun, you know, and I want to get a prophecy, you know, that kind of goes back, you know, that's going to go into us being restored. All right. Now, I started at 16, Isaiah 16:16. It says, "Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles," and this is just going into their, you know, their riches. You know, we're like the scriptures say, you know, the king, you know, is fed of the herbs of the field. You see,
Yeah.
this is just substance. All right. And shall suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I'm the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, am thy savior and redeeming the mighty one of Jacob. Now, verse 17. All right, we're gonna get a couple words in here. It said, "For brass I will bring gold, for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron." All right. So these are all the materials that will be needed to build the kingdom. You got to remember, there's going to be a literal infrastructure. All right. It might be a brother, his region, you know, has the iron. You know, this brother, you know, his realm is over the silver. All right. You talk about the stones, the agate, you know, the lapis. All right. The sodalite. Well, they grow in different regions of the earth. So whatever brother is in that region, you know, when it comes to, you know, building Jerusalem, you know, he will have, you know, the oversight, you know, of making sure the heathen mine a certain amount. Just because, see, just like, you know, Esau had you know, quotas we had to hit for a day, these heathens gonna have to hit quotas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's right.
and you brothers gonna oversee that. Whatever your order is, you know, we're gonna oversee that. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
punishment gonna be met out, you know, when needed. You
Mm-hmm.
see?
Even some of the 1/3 men, you know, you're going to be over particular
Yep,
heathen.
yep,
Even
yep,
some of the, you know, the 144, maybe, you know, because you got certain brothers who be like, well, I'm not a prophet. Well, what am I going to get? You go be directly under the men of the Lord, and you go have substance. You go be
yep,
set up,
yep.
because you got to think this earth is huge, man. Esau got people mind bugged out that this earth is overpopulated. Man, do you realize how big this earth is and how much undiscovered land, how many resources and riches are in the earth itself? We're gonna have that in abundance. Now, if you did you find a map of Solomon's kingdom real quick?
No, I get it real quick. Then I get back
Yeah,
to the work.
because we got
Yeah,
to think Solomon did this with just a region of the earth, man.
yep,
I believe it was that from Egypt to like what was promised to Abraham, you know. But this time under Yahushua, it's going to be the whole earth. Let me see here. As a matter of fact, it's here in this chapter. Yep. First Kings, chapter 20 and 4 and 20. I get that real quick if you can pull that up and then get the map.
Okay, come.
First Kings
Go
4
back.
and 20.
Yeah, now I'll read it for you. Then we go back. Go back to the Isaiah and get them words. All right. This is First Kings, chapter 4. All right, and 20. All right, so in Judah and Israel were many as the sand which is by the sea, and multitude eating and drinking and making merry.
Woo! Then we could party. See, they was partying because they were sovereign.
Yep.
All 12 tribes were together. That was the throne of David being established. All 12 tribes. Go ahead.
It says, and Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river unto the land of the Philistines and unto the border of Egypt, and they brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life.
Woo! They brought presents. The heathen that was subdued by King David brought presents and served Solomon. Now, if you can pull that map up.
Come. See if they let me. Yeah. Yeah, because like he was getting into, like brothers gonna have very high ranking positions. Like what the hell is this? Let me see, man. They tripping.
Let me see if I can do it. I mean, I can probably share them. You can't get it up?
No, they send me to some madness. I'm gonna go back, try to search it.
Kingdom map. Let me see if I can find it. I'll send it to you on the thing if I can.
But yeah, just making a point, like the elder was saying, with you brothers that might not be teaching, you're gonna be, beyond well off, because you gotta think about like these Edomites we see like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, all right? These people have billions and all type of Jeff Bezos, they got islands and lands, but they're the lower tier, of the elite. But you look at them, their status is, is exalted. You see? So how much more, you brothers, in the kingdom to come,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Solomon's Empire. There we go. Should be good.
You got one?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it real quick. I'll send it because you gotta think Solomon was a billionaire. Like within 1 year, he was like a multi-billionaire. So imagine under Yahushua. So what I'll do is I'll send it to the chat, the private chat.
Yeah.
And you can you see it?
Yep. Let me get it. Yep. Okay, let me share it real quick. Yeah, hey, you brothers. Yeah, I finna share it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you brothers not gonna be disappointed. You see it, bro?
That little strip. that wasn't that much.
And then right there on that Mediterranean, then like, that's the way that Israel is located. This is the spot. Because everybody around this region, was getting it. Because even when we're gonna go into, how Solomon started dealing with Haram, which was Canaanite king, but Haram, they were balling. The whole coast of the Mediterranean strip, they were balling ridiculously. While Rome, Italy, even when you go into the Carthaginians, dealing with Hannibal, all those generals. The reason the Punic Wars with the Romans you know, the reason that those wars was happening, all right, it was really to fight over the Mediterranean Sea. Because if you control the Mediterranean Sea, you really control the access to the earth, all right? Because the Mediterranean Sea was like the gateway, all right, until you get to, you know, Israel and Syria and Babylon and Asia. And you know, that was the gateway. You had to come here. This was like a gate, you know. So you will be able to you know, see all this traffic that was coming through the Strait of Gibraltar, you know, over here to this region, you know, of the east, you know. So when you understand, man, like we gonna have access to all of this, you know, we gonna control that traffic. Everything gonna have to go through Jerusalem, you know.
That's it. That's it. And when you get Psalm 72, real quick,
Come on, you wanna get that?
yeah, it says Psalm 72 and 1, give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. Who's the king's son? That's Solomon. Now, when you jump to verse 8, now we just saw the region that Solomon ruled. But here in the kingdom, as Yahushua says, he shall have dominion also from sea to sea and from the river unto the ends of the earth. See that? That's the whole entire planet Earth, man. So do you realize the riches and the substance that we're going to be dealing with? This ain't no small thing. That's why I from time to time I go and look up, you know, different regions of the earth, uninhabited, like New Zealand and different places. Only like 4 or 5 million people there. Those places ain't really touched by humans that much. But when you look at them, they're beautiful. Well, we're gonna go there, and you may be put over that region to set up shop there and to set up order. All right. You, one of the 144, you go over this region, you get that region. What Solomon did, Yahweh Shah is going to do with the whole entire planet Earth, man. So we got a lot to look forward to. You got it, brother.
Come, you know, it's gonna be a righteous colonization.
That's right.
You know.
That's
We're
right.
going back to Isaiah 60. I want to get these words, you know. You brothers going to hella rank, you know. That 1/3, their first dominion from the 144,000 to the least brother, the 1/3, you know. The rank is going to be, you know, it's no one will be disappointed in their position, man.
Nobody.
You know. It says back in Isaiah 60 and 17, I'm gonna read the second part. It says, I will also make thy officers peace. All right. You know, a king of prince of peace, man, and thy exactors, all right, righteousness. Now let's go to it. For now, you know, you can't start no business with a nigga, man. You know. Come on, look how Baby and P. Diddy be doing to you niggas,
Right.
man.
We
You
set
know?
up the kingdom of heaven and P. Diddy's over there trying to help. No, nigga, you got to go. No. Hell no.
Talking about, you know, I got experience in this. No, nigga.
Right. Sonetter, you know, oh, gather the money. We're going to gather it. You know, nah, nigga, shut your ass up. Shut up.
All right, now you get that word from officers in the Hebrew. It's paquadah, and it's when you go down, it says the oversight. All right, the care, the custody. All right, the oversight. You know, overseer. You see, so it's gonna be you brothers gonna be overseeing the affairs of Yahweh Shai, man. That's what we're gonna be doing in the kingdom. Man. We're gonna be overseeing the king's affairs, man, and we're gonna be kings within our own, you know, realm, but we still gonna have things to answer to, you know, because hey, it might be, you know, this brother, you know, he might need a little more manpower in his kingdom to get something done. Well, it might be a king over that region, you know, to make a decision, be like, look, every brother, you know, give 50 slaves, you know, volunteers 50 slaves to this brother's realm to get this done. You know, that decree go out, the slaves get shipped, that situation gets solved, you know. So, like I say, we're going to run the kingdom. You know, this is why when you go to Isaiah chapter 1, this understanding what we're a part of. See, when we understand what we're part of, you know, that makes the fight, you know, that much more personal, man. You know,
right. That's right.
this is Isaiah 1:25. It says, I will turn my hand upon thee and purely purge away thy dross and take away all thy tin. Now, this is twofold because just like, you know, we was going into earlier, the actual, you know, rebels will be purged, you know, and then the things that we go through, you know, within this ministry, the unwanted qualities are going to be purged out of us, you know, because we're being prepared to be judges. So, you know, the Lord is, because when you go into dross and tin, it's unwanted. It's something that's unwanted out of a precious substance, you know, and the elect is precious unto the Lord, you know. So he's going to do away with all that unwanted, all right, dross and tin, man, which is the, you know, the undesirables, man, you know, of our people. And it says, verse 26, and I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward, thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. You see? So you brothers not gonna be disappointed, man. You helps, you know, and you might be like the king right hand man, you know, like you got Prince of King, but you had Simeon, you know, it might be you, brother, you know. If that's me, I take that job, you know, shit.
Right.
You see, I take that position, you know.
The friends of the prophets, man. The friends of the prophets are gonna be set up.
Yeah.
Hey, even when there was a point when David ran into Saul's grandson or nephew, and he said, "Look, man, his nephew was all scared or something."
Yep.
But he said, "You know what? You go sit at my table." You know, so pretty much he was set up.
Uh-huh.
He was set up, meaning, look, you good. So even those who are lesser in rank, you do when you realize, you know, your leader. We ain't gonna be like if if we had a righteous kingdom, like the leader, like the brother said, P Diddy and Baby, they don't pay nobody. Hey, the wealth is gonna be distributed amongst everybody. Is gonna be good. We ain't gonna be
Yep.
no stingy, dumbass. You know, that's what we're being prepared right now for. That's why you got to take this grace period serious. We're being prepared to be rulers over all of these things, man. So everybody's going to be good. You know, from a woman who the Lord may have just had mercy on because she prayed for the prophet. She came by and gave us some water. A man who may not be a preacher or one who's set up to go out to the highways and the byways, but he has faith. He believes. Well, in the kingdom of heaven, under those righteous leaders, you'll have a lot. You'll have a position. You'll be good. Now you ain't gonna have as much as them because it's order. And none of us are gonna have as much as Yahweh, but it's all gonna be distributed down through that order from Yahweh through the 144, okay, and then the rest, you know, the large multitude. After we purge out those rebels, everybody's gonna be born into the covenant. We're gonna be good, you know.
I got a quick one, just bag you up. This Michael 4:4. It says, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah hosts, have spoken it. You know, so every man is going to have their own substance.
Right.
You see, you will have your own, you know, empire, you know, on. Like you got, you know, like you said, ISPK, they push the spirit of trying to build a kingdom within the kingdom. No, but in our kingdom, you gonna have kingdoms within kingdoms. You see, so everybody gonna have their own thing going. You know,
Right.
they're gonna be well off.
And you got women, you know, they don't understand. They're gonna be with men. Like, just imagine if your husband owned the whole block y'all lived on. You would be like, wow. So imagine the earth, you know, the regions that these men are gonna be set up. You ain't gonna be sitting there. You say you tired of picking up his drawers and socks. Well, you're gonna have maid servants. You see, everybody is gonna get their heart's desire, man, and win within this program. Everybody, from the men, women, and children. Our children are going to be safe. They're going to be running through the streets. That's even described in the scriptures, man. Playing in the streets. When the last time you saw children, you let your son or your daughter go outside and you don't have a worry? Well, in the kingdom, we're going to be secure from all pain. You know, we're going to be good, man. A lot of people think about the kingdom of heaven when we talk about it as if it's some sort of slavery for them, because no, everybody's going to be happy. You know?
So just give an example, you know, because we talk about, you know, the slavery. Well, that's order. It's going to be order within that, you know, even the slavery,
Right.
you know. So let's get an example of when King Solomon was having a temple built,
Right.
you know, and it said, and Solomon, this is 1 Kings 5:15, and it says, it said, and Solomon had 70,010 that bear burdens, and 80,000 he was in the mountains. All right. Besides the chief of Solomon's officers, which were over the work, 3,300, which ruled over the people that wrought in the work. Now, when you go to the commentary, all right, dealing with 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 15, 16, it says, the large workforce detail was made up of non-Israelites. All right. So Solomon had heathen slaves, man, you know, and it says,
could you pull that up, Baba Kasha, right there? The that First Kings that you're reading?
Yeah, I pull it up somebody.
Yeah. And what verse you at? 15, you said? Okay.
Yeah, 15, 16.
Okay.
All right. And it says, read on in the commentary, says the large workforce detail here was made up of non-Israelites and constituted a permanent group of slave laborers. Now, what it say in Ezekiel? How we will sever out continual employment.
Right.
You see, the unemployment rate in the kingdom will be 0. You know, don't be no nigga chilling. You know, while everybody else is going to work and this nigga's, you know, back here playing Call of Duty. No, every able body in the kingdom will be working, man. Right. You know, and it says
what's gonna be happening that 1,000-year period is gonna be them heathen hewing down things, you know, because we got to get this concrete up, because America's gonna be a total desolation, but you still have the rest of the earth. What's in the earth? Concrete. All of that got to be digged up. We ain't gonna have no concrete in our kingdom. So who's gonna get it up? The heathen. Weapons. We go burn all of them weapons. So it's gonna be work being done, man. That's what that 1,000-year period is gonna be heavily focused on. It's setting up order and getting the earth right and implementing the laws. Meanwhile, we'll have a rod of iron in our hand, all right, to beat these heathen over the head, man, when they get out of line. Go ahead.
All right. Going on, it says 2 Chronicles 2:2 and 18 record the number of supervisors as 3,600 Canaanites. And you got to remember, these Canaanites had their kingdom. You know, you go to Tyre, you know, they had a kingdom, you know, but they was just like, you know, America has these other nations as vassals. All right. They was a vassal, you know, until the kingdom of Solomon, their throne of David, you see. And it says, to these were added 250 Israelite chief overseers. You see? So you had, even over the supervisors of the other heathens, you know, you had Israelites that was the chief overseers. So even those, you know, high-ranking men of the other nation, they had to answer to chief overseers of Israelites. You see? And then it will work its way back up to Solomon. You know, if it was ever an issue, you know, that major, it will work its way to Solomon, you know, just like we see today. You know, we have, you know, different camps set up, you know, men over different regions, you know, and then you have elders over those regions, you know, then you have the apostles, man. All right. So we're rehearsing, like you said, to run a kingdom. This is what we're being prepped and groomed to do. You see?
That's right, brother.
Yep. I think that was about it, bro. You had something else?
Now, an example of that is get a hold up. First Chronicles 18 and 13.
First Chron. Oh, yep. The takeover.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
You know,
This another one I just thought about too. This First Chronicles 18 and 13.
right.
This First Chronicles chapter 18 verse 13, and he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. Thus the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah preserved David whithersoever he went.
That's right. That's why it said he's gonna set up the tabernacle of David as in the days of old, showing you that everybody won't get salvation. Now, when you look up that word garrison, is not to Zayab, na to Zayab. All right. It says to set over something placed, pillar, perfect, garrison, post, deputy. Deputy. So there were particular Jake watching over them Edomites, making sure they, was doing their job. David even set up torture, the chambers where he was, the Moabites, because David was so, man, you got to understand, David, and just like us, David was so happy to get the Edomites, the Moabites, and the Canaanites, which were the Philistines, pretty much under his foot. So it's gonna be the same way with us. So extra hell is gonna be put on particular name like Moab, Esau, and them Hamites, man. All nations gonna catch it, but Esau and Moab, those in those Philistines, David had a perfect, hatred for them, man. So what did he do? He put extra hell on them, man. So we're gonna do that. You see, and that's what we say for that period of 1,000 years. These heathen. As a matter of fact, let's get Revelation 2 real quick.
Come on,
Yeah,
brother.
Revelation 2 and 25. I'll read it. It says, "But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keeping my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations." All right, which who do the nations belong to? Under the Most High Yahweh, Yahweh shall ask of me, and I will give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. We're going to inherit the heathen. See? And he shall rule over them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken in shivers, even as I have received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star, which is ultimately the law, statutes, and commandments are going to be written in our inward part, man. We're going to, that priesthood, but we're going to have power over these nations, man. So with that comes responsibility on what they're going to do, where they're going to be, their quota for the day, and we're, hey, man, other than the Sabbath day, hey, man, you gonna have to build. You're gonna have to get in line. You're gonna have to keep the laws, and we ain't gonna be feeding, our servant, like unclean food. Now we may give them grass soup, little basic thing, but we ain't gonna treat them like they treated us. Now we will have our methods of torture. We will have our methods of, judgment, but we won't be cutting their rods off, raping their women in front of them, raping their children. All right. But there will be a point of judgment. That 1,000-year period under Yahweh Shai is where that throne of David, we get the last laugh, singing the song of Moses, man, chilling, you know.
Yeah, I just want to get one of them definitions for that word power. All right. The word in the Greek.
Strong's G 1849. Exousia.
Exousia. All right. Now I'm gonna get down to this main one. It says the power of rule or government, the power of him whose will and commands must be submitted to by others and obeyed. Man.
Ever and ever. Yep. Hey, real quick, let's if we can end it off on this, unless you got any more. Leviticus 25 and 44.
Yep.
This is in the law. The law is going to be written in our inward parts, man. So you got to envision these things, man. You know, the kingdom of heaven ain't going to be no low level, you know, people floating, because people think the kingdom of heaven, people we're just going to float around. And nah, we're going to establish order on earth. We're going to have chariots. Ain't going to be no more airplanes. It's going to be chariots. No more helicopters, no more chemtrails, no more polluted waters. We're going to clean all of that up, but it's going to be a process. Like I said, the Lord ain't gonna snap his finger and the waters are gonna be clean. No, he's gonna allow the laws to fix everything, which will be implemented under Yahweh Shai and his governing body.
Okay.
You got it up, Leviticus.
Yep, 25:44.
44. It says, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, right, which goes into what Isaiah 14. It says, which thou shalt have shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids, because like Joel, the 3rd chapter, is going to be slave trades. We're going to do it all, man. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children. So right now, what do you have to pass down to your children? Here's my laptop. Here's my Jordans. Here's a few of my stones. You don't have no substance to pass down to your children, but in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to pass down particular heathen families, lands, different things to our children, man. It says, moreover, of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, that they should begat in your land, and they shall be your possession, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever, but over your brethren, the children of Israel, you should not rule over one another with vigor. So you're going to have particular men that work under particular, elect men, but ultimately it's going to be for the purpose of getting these damn heathen in order, man, and telling, shut your ass up, boy. We see, let us see an Edomite running loose and walking, roaming the street. Who the hell you belong? Get your ass over here, boy. It's going to be that type of atmosphere, but in righteousness and royalty, man. And we'll own these heathen. We're going to teach them the right way. They need it. Look at Moab eating frogs and squids. They need to be cleaned up.
Yeah, the influence of Esau Edom has to be cut off in the earth.
Yes.
Because this man, he's leading this place to a darkness never seen in the earth, man. This is absolutely the worst ruler, man. All these other nations conforming to Esau has to be cut off, man. You see Elam, with them jeans and that Under Armour shirt with them sandals, that nigga need guidance, man.
Yeah, they need guidance. Ham and Moab, they all need guidance, man. They through.
All right, I got this one. This kind of, just to bring it all home, because even that's why it's an emphasis on that 1,000 years, like you say, because, everything has to be built. Things have to be torn down. We have to turn it back to a paradise. It's going to be a process, man. But after that, it's going to be a different phase of the kingdom. We're going to get to be, righteousness will be instilled in the earth. We still going to judge. They're going to get simple. But overall, just like it's a natural thing to be wicked in this society, it's going to be a natural thing to be righteous, within that kingdom,
Right. And the heathen, after that 1,000 years, it's going to be it's going to be instilled in them.
Yep.
Now, they ain't going to be perfect. They ain't going to have the laws written in them. But after that 1,000 years, they're going to very well know what we desire. So they're going to try to meet that, but they're going to still fall short. That's where we judge. You got it.
This is Jeremiah 12:14. Said, thus said the Lord, how by Shema Shai, against all my evil neighbors that touch the inheritance which I have caused my people Israel to inherit. And this talk to the heathens. Behold, I will pluck them out of their land. All right, we was plucked out, and plucked out the houses of Judah from among them, and it shall come to pass after I have plucked them out, I will return to have compassion on them, and will bring them again, every man, and speaking of the heathen, every man to his heritage, and every man to his land. And it shall come to pass, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people to swear by my name, the Lord Yahweh liveth, as they taught my people to swear by Baal, then shall they be built in the midst of my people. Yeah, so they're gonna get to enjoy, all right, like I said, a righteous kingdom. Just like we get to go to a game. You get to go to a game. Well, back then, when before the pandemic, but you'll go to a game, NBA game. Well, you was enjoying, really the labor that was done from the slaves that was before you, man. You know, that had to be built up. Like all these things we see, it got to be built up, and then you really can, enjoy those things. But the heathen, they'll get to enjoy, particular benefits in the earth. Like they're not gonna have to worry about, their wives checking their phone, some silly shit like that, man.
Or phones,
You know,
period. Bottled
yeah,
water.
no phone period. Wife checking,
Yeah.
all this madness. Are she trying to track where you been? Your child is telling you about hormone blocker pills, that's trying to be forced on them. That's not going to be. They're going to get to enjoy a righteous kingdom. We're not going to do air strikes on them, all right? Just because we feel a particular way. They're going to get to enjoy, righteous kingdom. Now, this is a shot at Esau because we know he's going to fulfill this. It said, but if they will not obey, I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation, said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai. He going to be out of there, man. So the earth is the existence, creation going to get to breathe with this nigga out of power, and then it's really going to get to exhale when this nigga is no longer in the earth, man.
Right. That's going to be a feast day. I mean, it talks about in Isaiah 14 how all of the nations, they're going to lie in their glory, but your ass, you're going to be brought forth as an abominable branch. And man, could you imagine that day? Because all of the heathen going to have to watch it. They're going to have to witness that to know, like, never F with this people, These are the children of Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai. In America, Babylon the Great will be a memorial of rebellion forever and ever and ever, man. So much more we can go into, but
Yeah, point made.
Made,
Yep. So just like, just understand, we're coming into something that's gonna be practical. We're not, going to be changed, just to lounge around. We're going to be at rest. We'll never have to, do any laborious work. We're going to have, those glorified bodies where we're not going to be tired. Like the heathen can get tired. We're not going to be, tired. Plus we're going to be in our rest, man. So, brothers, we got a lot, to look forward to, a lot to fight for, and understand what we're being groomed to be. What you guys are going.
Hey man, and as well as you sisters, man,
Yep.
I know a lot of you think, hearing about us having more than one woman, you ain't gonna have that worry in the kingdom. Trust me, we're gonna be good. We're gonna have wives, we're gonna have enough land to support that, because kings were the ones who multiplied wives and concubines and things of that sort. We're gonna be kings and priests. We're gonna have the earth in our possession, so we're gonna be good. All right. So hey, call halal Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai, man. You want to end it off?
You got it, bro.
All right, so we give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, double honors, as always, to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone. And as always, we give peace and salutations to the elect, starting with the 144, of course. I'm trying to get it to where it get to that 144 point. Hold on.
We almost there, man.
Multitude. I seen it. I was like, hey, so with that, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, Bashem Rakakodas, double honors to the apostles and elders, peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
We can take that.